First off, what's up, Jason? My name Joey Tezio, straight out of New York City, Italian blood, city soul, and I've been loving this game my whole life. And I gotta say it plain, meant something to me too. When he passed, nah, that wasn't just news. That hit different. That shook people. Because he wasn't just hooping, he was discipline, he was hunger, he was proof you could turn pain into greatness. And today, this ain't just about him. This is about you, Jason. We telling your story. The way you felt that moment. Because to you, Kobe wasn't just a name. He was like an angel walking this earth. Somebody you looked up to when life got heavy. And let's keep it real. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Men got heroes too. Men feel lost too. And if Kobe was yours, you chose right. Because when the world lost him, everything went quiet. Not just LA, everywhere. We ain't just lose a basketball player. We lost a legend, a businessman, a father, a man who carried pressure most people would fold under. And it ain't stopped there. Here she had to deal with pain nobody should ever see, losing her husband, her baby, then dealing with people doing foul stuff with those images. But she stood up, stayed strong, fought back, and won. That's love. That's real. So today, this ain't about the tragedy. This a tribute to a man who gave everything, and to a man, you, who still carries that inspiration. We gon' tell it right. We gon' let Kobe speak through his words, through the fans that loved him, through the life he built and the love he left behind. And this right here, this for Jason, by Jason. With the voice of Bronx Baby, to you, her message in creating this tribute. Music by Ren Gill, and from the heart of the NYC, I'm Joey Tezio, and here is your tribute.
Purpose, I wanted to be one of the best basketball players to ever play. And anything else that was outside of that lane, I didn't have time for. There's a quote from one of my English teachers at Lower Merion named Mr. Fisk. He had a great quote that said, "Rest at the end, not in the middle." And that's something I always live by. You know, I'm not going to rest. I'm going to keep on pushing now. There are a lot of answers that I don't have, even questions that I don't have. But I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going, and I'll figure these things out as we go, right? And you just continue to build that way. So I try to live by that all the time.
At what age did that goal become crystal clear?
I made that deal with myself at 13 years old.
At 13 years old?
13 years old. That's the
you
deal
were
I made.
Crystal clear about it?
Crystal clear.
And where did inspiration come from?
The love of the game. The love of the game, the challenge. Like I would watch Magic play, I'd watch Michael play, and I would see them do these unbelievable things, and I'd say, you know, can I get to that level? I don't know, but let's find out. Let's find out. And so that curiosity to see where I could push this thing led me down that path, I think. I had a summer where I played basketball when I was like 10 or 11 years old. And here I come playing, and I don't score 1 point the entire summer. Not a free throw, nothing. Not a lucky shot, not a breakaway layup, 0 points. And I remember crying about it and being upset about it. And my father just gave me a hug and said, listen, whether you score 0 or score 60, I'm gonna love you no matter what.
Wow.
Now that is the most important thing that you can say to a child. Because from there I was like, okay, that gives me all the confidence in the world to fail. I have the security there. But to hell with that, I'm scoring 60. And from there I just went to work. And I stayed with it, I kept practicing. I think that's when the idea of understanding a long-term view became important. Because I wasn't gonna catch these kids in a week. I wasn't gonna catch them in a year. Right, so that's when I sat down and said, okay, this is gonna take some thought. All right, what do I wanna work on first? All right, shooting, all right, let's knock this out. Let's focus on this, half a year, 6 months, do nothing but shoot. All right, after that, all right, creating your own shot, and you focus. So I started creating a menu of things. When I came back the next summer, I was a little bit better. I scored,
yeah,
it wasn't much,
right,
but I scored.
And this is 12, 13.
12, 13, and then 14 came around, back half of 13, 14 years old, and then I was just killing everyone. And it happened in 2 years. And I wasn't expecting it to happen in 2 years, but it did, because what I had to do was work on the basics and the fundamentals. Well, they relied on their athleticism and their natural ability. And because I stick to the fundamentals, it just caught up to them. And then my body, you know, my knees stopped hurting, I grew into my frame, and then it was game over.
Wow.
Were you always competitive from the day you were born? You were super competitive?
Competitive with things that I participate in. So I'll put it to you this way. So basketball for me was the most important thing. So everything I saw, whether it was TV shows, whether it was books I read, people I talked to, everything was done to try to learn how to become a better basketball player. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft. So at 13 years old, I had a I had a kill list. And so, you know, they used to do these rankings. It was Street and Smith basketball rankings. And I was nowhere to be found because I was like 6'4", scrawny, like 160 pounds soaking wet. So I was like 57 on the list. And so I would look at 56, 55, all the way up to number 1, who these players are, what club teams they played for. So when we go on an AAU travel circuit, I got to hunt them down, right? And so that became my mission in high school, is to check off every other person, all those 56 other names, hunt them down and knock them down. So when we played at 13, I would size you up and see what your strengths and weaknesses are. How do you approach the game? Are you silly about it? Are you goofy about it? Are you good at it just because you're bigger and stronger than everybody else, right? Or is there actually thought and skill that you put into it, right? And when I'd play to my weaknesses. I always work on the things during those games that I was weak at. Left hand, pull-up jump shot, post game, right? So I have a strategy.
What was really your work ethic like, and for how long did you stay disciplined?
Well, I mean, every day. I mean, since 20 years. I mean, it was an everyday process and trying to figure out strengths and weaknesses. For example, jumping ability. Now, my vertical was a 40, it wasn't a 46 or a 45. My hands are big, but they're not massive, right? So you got to figure out ways to strengthen them so your hands are strong enough to be able to palm a ball and do the things that you need to do. Quickness, I was quick, but not insanely quick. I was fast, but not ridiculously fast, right? So I had to rely on skill a lot more. I had to rely on angles a lot more. I had to study the game a lot more. And but I enjoyed it though. So like from the time I can remember when I started watching the game, I studied the game and it just never changed.
What does losing feel like to you?
It's exciting.
Why is it exciting?
Because it means you have different ways to get better. There's certain things that you can figure out that you can take advantage of, right? Certain weaknesses that were exposed that you need to shore up, right? So it was exciting. I mean, it sucks to lose,
right.
But the hardest thing is to face that stuff. That's a really, really tough challenge.
How did you get mentally and emotionally so strong where it doesn't bother you?
Well, you got to look at the reality of the situation. Like for me, it's not, you kind of got to get over yourself, right? And then after that, it's okay, well, why did those air balls happen? Got it. I didn't have the legs. So you look at the shot, every shot was online, but every shot was short, right? I got to get stronger. I got to train differently. The weight training program that I'm doing, I got to tailor it for an 82-game season so that when the playoffs come around, my legs are stronger and that ball gets there. So I look at it with rationale and say, okay, well, the reason why I shot air balls is because my legs aren't there. I go, well, next year they'll be there. You have to do the hard stuff and watch that game and study that game to not make those mistakes over and over again just because you weren't brave enough to face it. So you got to deal with it.
Face it.
Got to deal with it. Face it, learn from it. You don't want to have that feeling again, do you? Right? So you got to really study it, face it, and not to say you'll win the next time you face it, but at least you'll give yourself a better chance.
Yeah.
It's an obsessiveness that comes along with it. You want things to be as perfect as they can be, understanding that nothing is ever perfect. But the challenge is try to get them as perfect as they can be. And what can you do? It's in your control. So control what you can.
You have this mindset, but how did you develop that? I don't know if that's what you call the Mamba mindset, but how did you develop that? And when did it start?
It started in middle school and high school. Because a lot of the kids that I was playing against were inner city kids. Yeah. And so they're looking at me as if, okay, this kid's soft. They felt like they could try to be physical or try to intimidate me and do all this other stuff, which they couldn't, right? But now I'm saying, okay, well, you're trying to attack me. How am I going to attack you? How can I mentally figure out ways to break you down? How can I show you that, no, I have the edge, right? And so that's when it first started for me, is figuring out how to get the upper hand on an opponent that way.
And what would you do to mentally break people down then?
One of the things I would do is, while everybody would be at the cafeteria work, eating and doing that sort of stuff, I just go back to the gym. And so that was my way of showing them, yeah, I may be from the suburbs, but you're not going to outwork me.
Wow.
Like, I see a lot of players take vacations with other players that are close friends. And we'll just take vacations just to take vacations, or just hang out just to hang out. Like, I never did that.
Why not though? Why didn't you do that?
Well, because when I retire, I didn't want to have to say, I wish I would have done more. I don't want that. I played games with the flu. I played games with 102-degree fever, man. We had a game against Toronto in 2000, and Vince was tearing the league up. My back was jacked. So I would be in the layup line like, okay, there's a lot of days where you can rest and recover. Today ain't one of them. Your back can bother you any other day. That ain't bothering me today. He gonna have to see me today.
You're playing against the Golden State Warriors. Score is 107-109. You guys are close to getting into the playoffs. You know exactly what happens in the game. You go up, you're about to take your shot, and then all of a sudden, boom, Achilles happens, right? Friend of mine, Nima, he is here just to listen to. He played ball. And he told me, he says, Patrick, I don't think you understand. He says, when I tore my Achilles in high school, he says, 4 friends of mine dragged me to my hospital. I was crying from there straight to the hospital. He says, I have no clue how the hell this guy did it. He went and hit the free throws, and then you walked off the stage. How the hell do you tolerate that kind of pain?
I use this. I tell this example, and I think this is the best way to explain it. You have a hamstring injury, you pull your hamstring really, really badly. You can barely walk, right? Let alone play anything. You're at home, all of a sudden a fire breaks out in the home. Right? Your kids are upstairs, wife is wherever she may be, going down. I'm willing to bet that you're going to forget about your hamstring. You're going to sprint upstairs. You're going to grab your kids. You'll make sure your wife's good. You're getting out of that house. And the reason is because the lives of your family are more important than the injury of your hamstring. And so when the game is more important than the injury itself, you don't feel that injury. Not at that time. Went in the trainer's room, my kids are in there, and they're looking at you and stuff, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, it's all right, Dad's gonna be all right. It'll be fine. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. As a parent, you gotta set the example. You gotta set the example. This is another obstacle. This obstacle cannot define me. It's not gonna cripple me. It's not gonna be responsible for me stepping away for the game that I love. I'm gonna step away on my own terms. And that's when the decision was made that, what, I'm doing it. You gotta lead by example. As parents, you gotta lead by example. If you want your kids to do whatever it is they want to accomplish in life, you have to show them. You gotta show them. The definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. I think that's what greatness is or should be. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. Yeah. And I think that's our challenge as people, is to figure out how our story can impact others and motivate them in a way to create their own greatness.
As a fan, when I watched him play, and then after his retirement, and then when he died. And the Lakers were just a fun team to watch in the 80s. They were all about showtime and glitz and glamour. They kind of personified what LA was all about, and that was just bringing entertainment to the game. There was a lot of joy to the game. And then when Magic Johnson, my favorite player of all time, retired abruptly in 1991 due to the AIDS virus, the game kind of suffered for a little bit. Michael Jordan kind of kept it going. And then when Kobe came to the Lakers, that's when everything changed. Kobe put fannies in seats because of his acrobatic play. He just did so many things that I remember, like, this is how great Kobe Bryant was. I would watch the games even when they sucked, just so I could see what Kobe would do. He always did something different where you were just kind of like, how in the world did that guy do that? It's like reading a book, and you read that book several times and you uncover something different when you open that book. And that's how Kobe was. He wasn't really popular with some fans. He wasn't very popular, certainly wasn't popular with teammates. And I think we all loved that, because he was like us. He was like you and me. He got up early. He went to work. He put in the overtime for work, and he played hurt. Here's a guy who's making millions and millions of dollars. He didn't have to play, but he played for us. He played for the fans. My friend Michelle, the one who I referenced earlier, my good friend Michelle, she's a Bronx baby. She's a girl from the Bronx. She'll tell you. One year, Kobe was suspended from a game in New York, and for many of you who don't know, the Lakers don't play in New York. They only play there once a year, and tickets at Madison Square Garden are very, very costly, so you can imagine the ripple effect it had on the game. And that's why we felt cheated, because Kobe just had so much love for the game. I was thinking, you know what, that guy has so much love for something, I want to have a love for something. And so I took out a love for working out. I took out a love for writing. I took up a love for so many things because of just the passion that this guy exemplified. After Kobe retired, the game suffered for many fans, and it suffered for me. But you know what? Kobe kept on going. He branched off to different things. His passion didn't just stop with basketball. It extended. In fact, he had even more passions that we were like, wow, I can't even believe that here's an NBA player. First off, he's enjoying retirement, but he was such a great dad. He took his little girls and his wife to Disneyland all the time. He wrote. He won an Oscar for a basketball short, Dear Basketball. If you have a chance, check that out. So his passion continued even after he hung up his sneakers. That's what I really, really admired about Kobe, was his passion. He just had so many passions for life in general. And Michelle will tell you, she'll be the first to tell you, that I'm I have a lot of ambition and a lot of passion, and a lot of that was derived from watching Kobe Bryant. Another thing that I loved about Kobe was his work ethic. I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but this guy played hurt. He played sick. He didn't take nights off. He brought it, and he brought it every night. And it wasn't just the average fan. Movie stars wanted to be like Kobe Bryant. Kobe had relationships from all celebrities. The girl playing in LA, that certainly has a lot to do with it. From Snoop Dogg to Jack Nicholson to Red Hot Chili Peppers bassist Flea. Denzel Washington. He had a lot of admirers. All these people loved him. He was like the Pied Piper. If you go to China and some of the other countries, they'll tell you the same thing about him. It was his work ethic. It was his passion. It was just the smile that he always had. And he was a warrior. And he put it all out there because he wanted to put on a show for us fans, the people like myself who have to work hard for a lifetime just to afford to have nosebleed seats. I'm a father, and one of the things that I try to do is I try to be a better father. I have 2 girls, and my kids are adopted. I didn't have my children at the time of Kobe's death, but I remember when he died thinking that if I ever had children, I would want to be like Kobe Bryant. I would want to be involved with my kids. I would want to spend every waking moment with them. I would want to teach them leadership and teamwork and how to just have fun and transfer that talent and that passion that I have for whatever it may be onto whatever they want to do in life, whether it was dribbling a basketball or flipping hamburgers. If that's what you enjoy doing, that's what you should enjoy doing. And that's what I try to extend to my kids. So Kobe, thank you for making me want to be a better father. Thank you for making me want to be a better person in general and a hard worker. Kobe passed away expectedly. We didn't expect this. We still don't expect it. I'm going to try my best really hard to not break down, but I can't guarantee you that I won't, because reliving that day is one of the saddest days of my life. It was on a Sunday, just a normal day. I was going to church, and a friend of mine back in Las Vegas, when I was living in Las Vegas, he knew I was a Laker fan, and he showed me a tablet about a news that there was a helicopter crash involving Kobe Bryant. My first reaction in this world that we live in, with all this sick social media pranks that are being put on famous people, was that it was a sick joke. I actually prayed that it was a sick joke. But when my wife came in and I saw tears in her eyes and I saw people crying in the church, in my church, I knew that my fear was real, that Kobe Bryant was no longer going to be with us. My first reaction was just disbelief, and I could not believe it. And for 3 days, I cried. I'm not much of a crier. For those who know me, and my friend Michelle will tell you this, I don't like to cry in public. And I couldn't help it. My hero was taken from me, and I just wanted to know why. I was angry. But as the years have gone on, I have many, many memories, many, many movies of Kobe, many, many memories of Laker memorabilia that remind me of this great man. And so I try to I try to live on, because Kobe wouldn't want that. Kobe wouldn't want us pouting. Kobe would probably tell me to suck it up and sack up. And, you know, we all have jobs to do. That was something that Kobe would always say. We always have jobs to do. It's hard to really encapsulate his loss, and losing his daughter Gigi was an extra kick to the gut. But we live on. We still dribble the basketball. We still write. We do whatever brings us joy in this world. And that's what Kobe Bryant brought to me. He brought to me just the ability to, for 2 to 3 hours, just sit down and watch the game of basketball, a game that I really loved. He would take my mind off of whatever was troubling me that day. That's the beautiful thing about art. If you guys have the chance, please go on Bronx Baby's website, YouTube site. This is not an opportunity to, you know, put her out there, but she's just an example of how if you enjoy something, you can share that with others, and you can really feed off of that. I'm sure many who listen to this, you all have talents. You all know people who have talents. Really take the time out to just share your talents and admire other people's talents, because that's what brings us joy. And that's what keeps us together. And Kobe Bryant did a lot of that for me. Kobe, your loss is still hard to really imagine. It's still hard to fathom. I think about you a lot. I think about you during the season. The game is just not really the same since you left, but I will still watch it because of you. You are really missed, not only from a person like myself who grew up in southern Los Angeles, but all around the world. But instead of trying to make this a sad tribute, I want to make this a happy tribute, and I want to have that black mama mentality, the same mentality that you had, the one where you were gnarling your teeth after scorching an opponent for 50 points. You were the best, buddy. Your legacy will live on. We will always remember you. God be with you, brother.
Man, that was powerful, don't you think? Well, Jason, this isn't the end. We're going to show some more stuff that your hero did in honor of him. We're going to start up the next one with his daughter, and how he loved her, because she was part of that crash too. And she was also taken from this world. Her career could have took off like diamonds and pearls. She could have took this next life of her daddy's legacy. I'm going to a new level for fans. We not only loved them, but they loved her. And to the mother of this woman, that we are speaking of this young lady, from the fans and from the heart of LA and mothers all around the world, including Bronx Baby, who has also lost her child recently to fentanyl overdose. We would like to say that you're brave, and we would like to say that you are very, very honorable in our opinion on how you handle your husband's death. We wish you peace and happiness, and we hope that God gives you the strength to get through this pain. Your husband was a great man to a lot of people, and just know his legacy will always live on. Thank you. Now let's start this video on her, and see how talented she was, like her pop Gigi. This is for you, dear.
His daughter in the building, breaking down the game.
I love this.
The plan that we have in place of how I teach them is a 6-year plan. And how I teach the game. So you teach it in increments. You teach them piece by piece by piece by piece by piece. You're just very patient.
And like preaching that you reiterate every
Get better every day. Just get better every day. That's all.
Bryant for the lead. Yes! Kobe Bryant gives the Lakers the lead.
Do you think your daughter might want to play in the WNBA?
She does for sure.
She does?
I mean, this kid, man.
Wouldn't that be great?
Dude, man, I'm telling you. The best thing that happens is when we go out and fans will come up to me and she'll be standing next to me and they'll be like, hey, you gotta have a boy. You and V gotta have a boy, man. You have somebody carry on the tradition, the legacy. She's like, oh, I got this. You know, boy, for that, I got you. Like, that's right. Yes, you do. You got this.
You know, you guys know that, you know, if you do the work, you work hard enough, dreams come true. You know that. We all know that. But hopefully what you get from tonight is the understanding that those times when you get up early and you work hard, those times when you stay up late and you work hard, those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway. That is actually the dream. That's the dream. It's not the destination, it's the journey. And if you guys can understand that, then what you'll see happen is that you won't accomplish your dreams. Your dreams won't come true. Something greater will. And if you guys can understand that, then I'm doing my job as a father. Thank you guys so much. I love you. And, Mamba out.
Bryant's 4 daughters. Where are they now? Number 1, Natalia Bryant. Now 22 years old, Natalia is currently a student at USC while also making a name for herself in the fashion industry. She signed with IMG Models and made her runway debut at the 2023 Milan Fashion Week for Versace. Number 2, Gianna Bryant. Born in May 2006, Gianna had a deep passion for basketball and was seen as Kobe's basketball successor. Tragically, she passed away alongside her father in a helicopter crash on January 26, 2020. Number 3, Bianca Bryant. Now 7 years old, Bianca is still young and is growing up under the care of her mother, Vanessa Bryant. Vanessa often shares moments from their family life. Number 4, Capri Bryant. Now 5 years old. Fans have nicknamed her Kobe's twin because of her expressions and mannerisms, which closely resemble her late father.
Okay, this poem is gonna hit hard for some, but it would hit hard to Kobe. It's something that Wrong's baby wrote, because she is a homeless advocate and has been for years escaping homelessness herself. She is now becoming, for now, an artist and very big, passionate person of supporting other artists. She wrote this, she said, homeless people are like batteries. When a flashlight goes dim, did you toss it aside? No, you change the batteries. When a human being does something wrong and they slip into homelessness, and they become something they weren't before, do you forget about them? Most people do. But she said, no, you don't forget about me. Just change the batteries. Attention and affection. Some people need AAA, attention, affection, and acceptance. Some people need C, this stands for compassion, and some people need D, direction. And if they don't find anything with those battery changes, if their light still stays them and you can't get it to come back on, sit with them and shine the light that God gave you on them. And maybe you can bring them back. And Kobe did that. This is what made her want to do this. And she saw this video. So Jason, thank you from the bottom of Bronx Baby's heart for introducing us to this man who gave you so much inspiration.
I wanted to start by talking to you about your foundation. How did the idea for it even come about in the first place?
Well, you know, it's important to try to do something to help out in whatever way you can and whatever cause you choose to support. And for me, it was just about researching what cause I can kind of wrap my arms around and actually affect change. And so I did some research, and the cause of homelessness was something that kind of jumped out. because it's been around us. It's around everybody. I think it's kind of become what I like to put, white noise, so to speak. We just kind of just blends in with everything else that we have going on instead of addressing the issue, and it's such a prominent issue, particularly in California. So that became the issue that I became passionate about and still learning a great deal about, but it's something that I can wrap my arms around and help out.
How challenging was it for you to kind of identify what you wanted to do charity-wise to affect change? Because homelessness is your cause. There's obviously so much out there.
Sure. It's extremely difficult. And even now, even though homelessness is my center focus, there's a myriad of other things that I do and try to help out wherever I can. Homelessness is just a cause that we chose to really lock in on because it is such a prominent issue. I mean, after I finished the game, leaving from Staples Center, Skid Row is 2 blocks up the street. And so this is something that I believe we can help. And also, I mean, it's if you think about it, you and I, we both, our plans for the future were pretty much mapped out in the sense that we knew, you go to high school, you go to college if you choose to, you get a job, so everything was kind of lined up for us, and we knew exactly, if we do A, B, and C, we'll achieve A, B, and C. And for most of these kids that you meet that are homeless, they don't have that option, never had that option. They don't have a roof over their head, so it's about kind of arming them with the tools necessary to have a better future, and it starts with having a roof over their head.
What have you seen in the places you've been with regards to poverty that really strikes you?
It's a loss of hope. I think that's the thing that's been prominent no matter what country or what city you go to. When you see people who are living in these impoverished neighborhoods, it's just a loss of hope. It's just kind of a sense of, I had these dreams, I had these goals and these aspirations, but they're long gone. And they could be 15 years old. And you want to do whatever you can to try to instill that hope back into them and to show them that there are other people out here who believe in your dreams, believe in your goals, and we're going to help you to achieve those.
Tell about My Friend's Place.
Yeah, well, My Friend's Place is a
long time coming, too.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. We've been extremely excited about the project and giving kids a place to go, kind of a safe haven for them where they can come and just do things that we take for granted, like take a shower, have clean towels, use soap, to get a fresh meal, a warm meal. And it's a place where we have counselors that can counsel them with whatever issues they may be facing. We've kind of been refurbishing the place, and it feels good now that it's all done.
Is there something kind of you're most excited about?
Well, yeah, I think just seeing the expression on kids' faces now that they have a place to kind of go and to kick back and to relax and to kind of feel at home. I think that's the most thrilling part.
For more clips from this interview, visit GrahamBensinger.com.
Kobe Bryant had a lot of fans of all kinds, homeless people, famous people, and just normal people, artists, known musicians, the LA people. I could go on and on and on, but if you wanted to share a few people that had something to say about his death and about his tragic daughter, so here's a couple of famous.
On and on and on. I said, and it's on and on and on.
Kobe just died. Ron wakes up, said, bro, Kobe died. He was like, man, stop playing. I'm like, bro, I'm not playing.
When Kobe Bryant died, a piece of me died.
My son come up crying. He said, yo, man, Kobe just died in a helicopter crash. It's a hoax. Stop it. And I called my guy from the sheriff office. He said it was true. I started crying.
Anthony looked like somebody pulled his soul from him. Nobody had the color.
You did it. You're in the Hall of Fame now. You're not just an MVP. You're an all-time great. I'm so proud of you. I love you forever and always. Kobe Bean Bryant.
The news of Kobe Bryant's death shook the world, leaving basketball fans, former teammates, and fellow celebrities reeling from the sudden shock. The 41-year-old Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter Gianna were among 9 people who died Sunday, January 26th, when the helicopter they were traveling in crashed in the mountainous terrain in Calabasas, California. Bryant leaves behind his wife, Vanessa, and 3 other daughters. After news of Bryant's death was made public, celebrities took to social media to share their sentiments about the retired Los Angeles Lakers star. Other celebrities reflected on Bryant's life as they attended the Grammy Awards, which were held the same day as the crash in the Staples Center, aka the house that Kobe built.
God bless his soul and his daughter and everyone who was on the helicopter, man. It just makes you think about people in the world, and man, we love him.
Details are still emerging, but it's clear that countless fans were impacted by this sudden loss of life. In fact, some notable figures broke down on live television when they spoke about Bryant's untimely passing. Tonight Show host Jimmy Fallon kicked off his show the night after Kobe Bryant's death by sharing a personal story about meeting the pro baller at a party in Los Angeles when he was just 21 and Bryant was 17. They were both rookies in their respective fields, Fallon in stand-up comedy, Bryant in the NBA. Fallon revealed that he and Bryant went on a memorable beer run during the party, and it was Bryant's basketball credentials that convinced a salesperson to hook them up with the booze and save the party. Of course, both Fallon and Bryant went on to wildly successful careers, and Fallon paid tribute to his friend's legendary record: 5 NBA titles, 2 Olympic gold medals, 18 All-Star appearances, and the undying respect of his athletic peers.
We laugh at all the good things that have happened since. And we laugh about how much fun it was to raise kids.
Fallon also expressed his shock at Kobe's unexpected death, saying, "Kobe was such a life force, so strong and creative and inspired that in my head, I thought that he was going to live forever." He closed his monologue with a challenge to honor Bryant by following the athlete's example. Analyst and former Chicago Bulls player Jay Williams looked back on his relationship with Kobe Bryant on an episode of SportsCenter. Williams was visibly shaken as he spoke about Bryant's legacy, noting that it's easy to lose sight of who people really are in the fast-paced landscape of press and sports.
His innate character, his being, his spirit was incredible.
The former point guard went on to talk about his experience meeting Kobe during his own rookie season in the NBA. Williams said he was in a slump and had arrived at the Staples Center early to practice before the game. Kobe was already there working hard, and he was still there practicing hard as Williams got ready to leave. According to Williams, Bryant said, "I wanted you to know that no matter how hard you worked, you weren't going to outwork me." Williams urged listeners to treasure every second of their lives.
There's something so damn uplifting about him. It just made you want to be better in every aspect of your life because that's who he was.
Los Angeles Clippers coach Doc Rivers had an especially emotional reaction when he was asked about the death of Kobe Bryant. Rivers, who led the Boston Celtics to an NBA championship victory against Bryant's LA Lakers in 2008, was getting ready to coach a game when asked to share his thoughts. Tears streamed down Rivers' face as he struggled for words.
I just don't have a lot to say. The news is just devastating to everybody who knew him.
Rivers did find the words to discuss Bryant's basketball legacy, calling him a great opponent. The kind of opponent you want in sports.
He had that DNA that very few athletes can ever have. You know, the Tiger Woods and the Michael Jordans.
Rivers said he and Bryant had talked at length just weeks before his death, reminiscing about past games, but Williams said Bryant was the happiest he'd ever seen him as a retired player, doing big things for others. The coach closed by discussing Bryant's lasting impact on his life. "We're all Lakers today," he said.
Sometimes the more you compete, the more respect you have for the opponent. You know, I would say that's the way I felt with Kobe. And
Presenting Kobe Bryant for enshrinement is a mentor, a role model, and most of all, his dear friend, Michael Jordan. Please welcome Vanessa Bryant.
I'm okay. I love you. Last February, I called Michael and asked him if he would introduce Kobe tonight, and he graciously accepted. Thank you for being here, Michael. Kobe admired you. This means so much to us. I used to always avoid praising my husband in public because I felt like he got enough praise from his fans around the world, and someone had to bring him back to reality. Right now, I'm sure he's laughing in heaven because I'm about to praise him in public for his accomplishments on one of the most public stages. I can see him now, arms folded, with a huge grin saying, "Isn't this some shit?" He's still winning. I wish my husband was here to accept this incredible award. He and Gigi deserve to be here to witness this. Gigi would be so proud to watch her daddy get enshrined into the Basketball Hall of Fame. I know Kobe's really looking forward to being here. He asked the Hall of Fame to specifically add a 6th ticket for Capri. He was so happy. He didn't really talk about upcoming awards, but he did mention this one a week before he and Gigi passed. My husband and I were sitting at our kitchen island, and he and I had a conversation about my mother and father-in-law attending tonight's enshrinement. I invited my mother and father-in-law to tonight's enshrinement to thank them for bringing one of the most amazing human beings into this world. Pam and Joe, thank you for raising Kobe to be exceptional. Thank you to all of Kobe's family. Sharia, you've gone above and beyond. I love you. There will never be anyone like Kobe. Kobe was one of a kind. He was special, he was humble, off the court, but bigger than life. To all of our close friends and family that have been present for my girls and I, thank you. That list is long and it takes a village, but know that your kindness and love does not go unappreciated. I know that Kobe is thankful that you're all coming through for his girls. We love you all and are forever grateful for you. If my husband were here tonight, he would have a long list of people to thank that helped inspire him and equip him to be in the Hall of Fame. Family, friends, mentors, the Lakers, teammates, muses, and opponents. This is one of the many hard parts about not having him here. At the risk of leaving anyone out, I can only say thank you. To all those who helped him get here, you know who you are, and I thank you on his behalf. I love you. I don't have a speech prepared by my husband because he winged every single speech. He was intelligent, eloquent, and gifted at many things, including public speaking. However, I do know that he would thank everyone that helped him get here, including the people that doubted him and the people that worked against him and told him he couldn't attain his goals. He would thank all of them for motivating him to be here. After all, he proved you wrong. All of the athletes that accept a Hall of Fame award share the fact that they have to sacrifice a part of their lives to dedicate more time to their craft. It takes a lot of self-drive, dedication, and discipline. No one can take away from their own success. Kobe's personal stats speak for themselves. Kobe was on a different level. He never took shortcuts when it came to basketball. He gave this game his all. Kobe played through injury after injury. To name a few, he had IVs administered during half-times to play through food poisoning and the flu. He played with a broken nose. He had a broken finger and had it snap back in place just enough to finish the game. He also taught himself how to use his left hand to play the rest of the season while his finger healed. He even swished 2 free throws with a torn Achilles and walked off the court on his own. I'll never forget the look he gave me as he walked off the court that game. I knew it was bad. The crowd was cheering, and I was reassuring Natalia and Gianna that Daddy would be okay, just like any other injury. But as he walked into the tunnel, there was no wink, and there was no kiss blown my way. I could see the concerned look on his face. That injury was big, but his comeback from that injury was bigger. People don't know this, but one of the reasons my husband played through injuries and pain was because he said he remembered being a little kid, sitting in the nosebleeds with his dad to watch his favorite player play. He could recall the car ride, the combos, and the excitement of being lucky enough to have a seat in the arena. Kobe didn't want to disappoint his fans, especially the ones in the 300 sections that saved up to watch him play, the kids with the same excitement he once had. I remember asking him why he couldn't just sit a game out because he was hurting. He said, "What about the fans that saved up to watch me play just once?" He never forgot about his fans. If he could help it, he would play every minute of every game. He loved you all so much. Kobe had many accomplishments. 5-time NBA champion, 5-time New York Times best-selling author, 18-time All-Star, a league MVP, and 2-time Finals MVP. 2-time Olympic gold medal winner. He is also the first professional athlete to win an Oscar. The list goes on, but his most cherished accomplishment was being the very best girl dad. Usually people thank everyone that has helped them get here, but since I don't have Kobe's specific list, I want to thank my husband. He did the work. He broke those records, and he inspired people to be great. I want to thank him for somehow finding ways to dedicate time to not only being an incredible athlete, a visionary entrepreneur, and storyteller, but for also being an amazing family man. Dear Kobe, thank you for being the best husband and father you could possibly be. Thank you for growing and learning from your own mistakes. Thank you for always trying to be better. Thank you for never giving up on us. Thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you for our family. Thank you for our daughters, Natalia, Gianna, Bianca, and Capri. Thank you for working so tirelessly to provide for us and for giving us the most amazing life together. Thank you for waking up at 4 a.m. to for making it home to kiss me good morning, and for dropping our girls off at school, only to go to practice, come home, and pick up our girls from school whenever you could. Thank you for never missing a birthday, a dance recital, a school award show, show and tell, or any games our daughters played in if your schedule permitted. Thank you for putting your love for our family first. Thank you for bringing so much joy to our lives and joy to the people around the world. Thank you for inspiring us to be better than we were the day before. Thank you for teaching me and all of us to put someone else's joy before our own. Thank you for being so selfless and loving with a heart of gold. Thank you for never taking yourself too seriously. Thank you for your sense of humor. Thank you for your wit. Thank you for never telling me no and always letting me have my way most of the time. Thank you for being patient and easygoing. Thank you for letting me burst your bubble every chance I got. Thank you for graciously taking all my harsh comebacks. Thank you for pushing them back. Thank you for being the Mickey to my Minnie and the Noah to my Allie. Thank you for loving me enough to last lifetimes. And every lifetime, I choose you. To our girls, Natalia and Gianna, thank you for sacrificing so much time away from Daddy so that he could focus on being the best at everything he set his mind to do. Bianca and Capri, I'm so happy you're here to see this tonight. Daddy was incredible. He loves you girls so very much. Congratulations, baby. All of your hard work and sacrifices paid off. You once told me, if you're going to bet on someone, bet on yourself. I'm glad you bet on yourself, you overachiever. You did it. You're in the Hall of Fame now. You're a true champ. You're not just an MVP. You're an all-time great. I'm so proud of you. I love you forever and always. Kobe Bean Bryant.